Breaking news! The NFL is heating up, and the Philadelphia Eagles are preparing for the 2025 draft. Yes, my friends, Coach Nick Sirianni gave his last press conference before free agency, and some of the things he said really caught the attention of fans and analysts. We'll also talk about Zack Baun. I'll tell you everything that's going on, but first, make sure you've hit the like button if you've been an Eagles fan for over 20 years. It's great to see fans of all ages here. Now I want to ask you a question. Do you think it would be worth bringing Zack Baun back? Comment below. Your opinion is very important. Two big stories are making an impact. First, the Eagles are prioritizing the re-signing of linebacker Zack Baun, and second, the controversy over the ban on the Tush push, or as we call it, the brotherly shove. Let's start with Baun. According to behind-the-scenes reports, the Eagles are making it a priority to bring him back. And honestly, that makes perfect sense. Baun was an absolute revelation in 2024. One of those classic Howie Roseman moves. Take a guy who's never played off-ball linebacker before, pay him a little over $3 million, and suddenly he's a leader on the NFL's best defense. First-team All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year finalist, absolute game-changer. His instincts, his control of the middle of the field, his versatility as a run blocker and pass rusher. Baun has been a big reason why this Eagles defense has dominated. Howie Roseman has historically been hesitant to invest big money in linebackers, but we may be seeing a change. When asked about it at the Combine, he made it clear that while they have to balance salary cap space, they're evolving their approach. And let's be real, if you take Baun out of this defense, it leaves a huge hole. Against the run, against the pass, as a pass rusher, he does it all. Now, let's talk about the business side. Baun is 27, and this might be his only shot at a big payday. The market will dictate his price, and he could land somewhere in the range of $12 to $14 million per year. Can the Eagles afford that? Yes. Should they pay him? Absolutely. Baun himself has said he wants to stay in Philly and play in Vic Fangio's system, which helped revitalize his career. The question is whether he and his agents will agree to a team-friendly structure given that the Eagles have 17 free agents and cap decisions to make. But there's no doubt he's a player worth keeping. Now, on to the tush-push debate. Here we go again. The NFL is flirting with the idea of banning the most unstoppable short yardage play in football. It started picking up steam when Packers president Mark Murphy said he wants it gone, claiming it doesn't require skill. Then we heard from Falcons head coach Raheem Morris, who said it should have been banned years ago. Bills head coach Sean McDermott, who, by the way, tried running the play in the AFC Championship and failed miserably, argued that it's dangerous and should be outlawed. But here's the thing, where's the data to back that up? The NFL conducted a study on injuries related to the play in 2024, and guess what they found? A 0% injury rate. Zero. Not a single injury from the tush push all season. Yet, some coaches and executives are still pushing this idea that it's too dangerous. The real reason teams want it banned? They can't stop it. The Eagles have perfected it. It's not just brute force, it's timing, execution, and skill. Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. The offensive line, built with Howie Roseman's trenches first philosophy, is the best in the league. Other teams try to run it, and they fail. That's not Philly's fault. That's not a reason to ban a play. Nick Sirianni put it perfectly. People think it's automatic, but they don't realize the work that goes into it. The endless reps, the technical details, the coaching, the adjustments. Just because the Eagles make it look easy doesn't mean it is. And here's the kicker. If it were truly unstoppable, why doesn't every team in the league run it at the same success rate? Because they can't. Because it takes more than just lining up and pushing forward. This play is unique to the Eagles, and it's a perfect representation of what this team is about: smart team building, discipline, toughness, and execution. If the league bans it, it won't be because of player safety. It'll be because teams are tired of getting embarrassed when they can't stop it. So, Eagles fans, what do you think? Should the team go all in to bring back Zack Baun? And how do you feel about the league trying to ban the brotherly shove? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this conversation going. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time the NFL has tried to tweak rules to slow down the Eagles. Remember when they changed the overtime rules after the Chiefs-Bills playoff game? Or when they adjusted how defenders could attack the read option years ago? This league has a history of reacting when a team finds an advantage that others can't replicate. And right now, that's exactly what's happening with the tush push. What's really wild is that some of the same people pushing for this ban are the ones who tried and failed to use the play themselves. Sean McDermott and the Bills ran it in the AFC Championship game and got stuffed. Multiple teams attempted it throughout the season, and very few pulled it off with anywhere near the efficiency of the Eagles. The reason? They don't have Jason Kelce anchoring the offensive line. They don't have Lane Johnson setting the edge. They don't have Jalen Hurts, who might be the strongest quarterback in the league. Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo even admitted that his team studied every frame of tape on the Bills running the play. They noticed that Josh Allen always went left, so they game planned for it and shut it down. That's called strategy. That's what football is supposed to be. If the tush push is such a problem, then how about stopping it instead of crying to the league office? And speaking of stopping things, let's talk about what the Eagles need to do this offseason to make sure they stay dominant. Free agency is right around the corner, and the Eagles have big decisions to make beyond Zack Baun. They've got 17 free agents, including key contributors on both sides of the ball. That means Howie Roseman has to work his magic again. One of the biggest questions? What happens with the offensive line? Jason Kelce hasn't officially announced his retirement, but the writing seems to be on the wall. If he does retire, that's a massive loss, not just on the field, but in the locker room. Cam Jurgens is expected to take over at center, but that means they'll need depth. Does Howie go into the draft looking for another lineman? Does he dip into free agency? Those are the kind of moves that could determine whether the Eagles stay a Super Bowl contender or take a step back. And then there's the secondary. The defense was elite in 2024, but aging corners and looming cap decisions could lead to major shakeups. Darius Slay and James Bradbury aren't getting any younger, and the Eagles might need to look at younger, cheaper options. It all comes down to how aggressive Howie wants to be. We've seen him go all in before, like in 2022 when he loaded up on talent and turned a good team into a Super Bowl team. Does he do it again? Does he push for another star? Maybe a big-name safety or another defensive lineman to pair with Jalen Carter? The good news is, the core of this team is still in place. Jalen Hurts is locked in. A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith are still one of the best receiver duos in the NFL. The pass rush is loaded. The question now is how the Eagles fill in the gaps and reload for another run. Football has always been about innovation. Bill Walsh changed the game with the West Coast offense. The Wildcat had its moment. RPOs were once seen as a gimmick. Every time a team finds an edge, there's pushback. The difference here is that the Eagles are running a play that's technically legal, strategically brilliant, and physically overwhelming. That's not cheating. That's dominance. And let's be real, if Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs had mastered this play instead of the Eagles, would there be this same outrage? Probably not. The NFL loves Kansas City. The league protects its biggest stars, and if the Chiefs were running this play at the same clip the Eagles are, it'd be celebrated, not criticized. Nick Sirianni said it best. The tush push is not just brute strength. It's a skill. It's execution. It's an offensive line working in perfect sync. It's a quarterback with elite lower body strength. It's a coaching staff that has spent hours breaking down the smallest details of foot placement, leverage, and timing. Other teams try to copy it and fail because they don't have what the Eagles have. So let's hear it, Eagles fans. Should Baun get paid? Should Howie shift his team-building philosophy and invest more in linebackers? And if the league actually does ban the tush push, will it just be another example of the NFL changing the rules to slow down the birds? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more Eagles content. I'm Chase Sr. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now, and I'll see you in the next one. Fly, Eagles, fly.